It's Tim Albright with AVNation with an AVNation special with my buddy Brad Hintze from Crestron. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you, Tim? It's so good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. We got to hang out at ISC in beautiful Barcelona, where you and I talked about the 1 millionth NVX unit. So you guys made a big deal about that for good reason, right? 1 million, it not only is a nice round number, it's a huge round number. But it's more than that. So talk for a second, really, to end users, to IT managers. Why does 1 million NVX units matter?
Well, 1 million matters because it shows the scale of the adoption that AV over IP has really undergone with customers and with pros. I think it's a great proof point that this is a really valuable technology and everybody's finding some great uses for it. Now, of course, it's also a good proof point that NVX delivers well for customers. And so, it's something certainly that we're very happy to be able to talk about.
So for end users and stuff, certainly, it's a standard. I use that term a little bit, loosely. I've got my own feelings about standards and the word. But it also talk for a second about why it matters to dealers and the channel partners that you've got.
Well, it matters to dealers because I think that, dealers are always interested, as we should, as an industry, always be interested in representing or offering technologies that customers will embrace and that they will use and that they can rely on. And this milestone demonstrates that there are customers out there, a lot of them, that have come to rely on and use NVX. And so therefore, it is a technology that dealers should feel comfortable and happy to recommend to their customers as well.
You talked for a second there about the adoption of AV over IP in general. Where do you see that? What does this, this milestone from Crestron mean to the industry overall when it comes to AV over IP?
Well, I think that while this is certainly a big number and it is really quite impressive, I think that it is only the beginning, really. There's so many more places that AV over IP can go. And it really wasn't all that long ago that we introduced NVX. It was 6 or 7 years ago that NVX was first introduced, and then to achieve this milestone so quickly. But what we know and what we are hearing is that this will continue to grow at a 15% rate every year. And so there's still tremendous opportunity ahead, and it'll be much quicker that we'll get to the next million units as well.
Brad, you said 15% growth year over year, or 15% rate growth. Do you have a sense of vertical is the wrong word, but a sector? Education, enterprise, and enterprise is a big number, big word, but healthcare or corporate. Do you have an area where you see that biggest growth area happening? Yeah,
I think actually, because to achieve that 15% growth, you actually have to have really strong growth across all of the sectors. And so what we saw is that in the early days, actually, education was one of those that adopted it really quickly and has scaled it across all of the campuses because it provided so much value and in terms of the flexibility and the scalability. And we have a number of customers that really demonstrated that. Enterprise is catching up too, though, particularly in this drive around modern work and hybrid work. The need to get technology into many more rooms, do it flexibly and scalably. That's precisely what NVX delivers. And so we are seeing a lot of additional growth there. But also in government, there's a lot of customers that are using AV over IP and NVX because we've achieved those government standard security standards.
Yep.
NIAP and JITC, yeah. and those are very important too. And so that has also helped drive a lot of the growth there. But it's really across the board where we're seeing that.
And those security standards are incredibly important. If you've never done work in government, those things like JITC, it sounds like a funny acronym, but it's incredibly important because these government entities are incredibly conscious of the security of their data, and getting those certifications is really, really important. Brad's training is certainly part of this. What does this millionth unit and NVX in general, How does that add to the number of IT and higher ed tech managers trained on NVX and trained in AV over IP?
Well, I think that actually the millionth unit is actually a proof point of the scale of the trained and certified professionals that are out there. It's only through those professionals that we have achieved this milestone, and so that's really the way it makes its way into the customers. And so we have tens of thousands of trained technicians that know how to support and deploy NVX, and we're training more and more all the time. We actually have some new NVX courses coming online. At Infocom, we'll have some new NVX courses as well. So we're continually training more people on this technology, which, by the way, is another proof point for customers choosing NVX. Right? When you bring a technology into your organization, you want to do so with confidence that you have enough trained local professionals to be able to support you. And NVX certainly brings that to the table.
Well, we'll talk about that for a second, right? Because you've got, I don't care what the technology is, right? Whether it's DSP or AV over IP. How does that help the IT manager who's like, I've got these two flavors, I have these two choices. This choice over here has X number of professionals that can be on my site, with a truck roll within a number of hours. Why does that matter?
Well, it matters when you need your organization to always be running, or you need to hit a timeline for installation. And you know that you need to make sure you have a really great experience. And I think knowing that you have some backup plans or you have a choice in who you partner with, I think the other considerations are, maybe one integrator is perfect for this kind of a deployment or project in your organization, and this other integrator is well tuned for this other one, right? Maybe it's scaled across a number of rooms or whatever. Having that choice while sticking with one technology platform is really, really critical.
All right. Something else you guys have announced is you are looking for the very best of the best on NVX projects. What criteria are you looking for?
So we have a number of awards that we're going to put out there for those professionals and the projects that are using NVX today. So if you go to Crestron.com, you can see there's a long list of the best categories of projects that we're looking for. You can also see many other projects that are already using NVX. And then around the Infocom timeframe, we'll be announcing and honoring many of those winners as well.
All right. So who's applying for this? Are you looking for dealers? Are you looking for consultants? Are you looking for the end users that put these into their projects?
Yes, please. If you've got a great
all of them,
all of them. If you have a great project that you want to show off the way that you've used NVX, we'd love to hear about it. Whether you're an integrator or a consultant or an end customer as well. Right? Because all of you may view that project as your baby, and it's a really great proof point of what's possible. Another really cool, fun thing that we've introduced with this campaign that we haven't talked yet about a whole lot is that, on this road to this milestone, there were a lot of those trailblazers that helped us get there and adopted this technology very early on. And those that have been working with NVX for the last couple of years helped pave this road. And so we actually, on the website, we have a little tool. You can enter in the serial number for an NVX box, and you can see if you were one of those trailblazers that were in the early days of NVX, and then you can brag about your status as a trailblazer as well.
Well, very cool. All right, Brad, somebody wants to find out more about Crestron or obviously Crestron NVX. How do they do that?
Crestron.com, and then, of course, Crestron on all the socials as well.
Very good. Brad Hintze from Crestron. For us, for AVNation, go by our website, avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv. You'll find programs like this and a host of others, all that and more at avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.